While its purpose is widely appreciated, the implementation of sex education in school remains controversial and raises several ethical, psychological, and developmental concerns. By relying on family-centered approaches to discuss sensitive topics, society can better accommodate the diverse beliefs and developmental needs of children, ensuring that they receive accurate and consistently appropriate information from trusted sources.
Sex education promotes responsible and safe decision making among students. So comprehensive sex education has been shown to significantly promote responsible and safe decision making among students, teenagers, and young people, equipping them with the knowledge and skills needed to make informed choices. So researchers by the Guttmacher Institute reveals that students who receive comprehensive sex education has 50% less likely to experience teenage pregnancy compared to their peers who lack such education. Additionally, programs incorporating informed contraception and sexual health contribute to delayed sexual initiation, reduced frequency of sexual activity, and increased use of protection, as highlighted by the advocates of youth. These findings are reinforced by the data from Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, which shows that effective sex education, I highlight the word effective, sex education reduces the rates of sexually transmitted infections among adolescents, safeguarding their long-term health and minimizing public health costs. Furthermore, a study in the Journal of Adolescent Health reports that students exposed to sexually comprehensive sex education demonstrate greater confidence in managing relationships and understanding consent, which fosters a culture of respect and responsibility.
But a research from the Journal of Adolescent Health suggests that young children who are exposed to sex education content prematurely can experience some confusion and anxieties, especially if they lack a foundational understanding of those said topics. And a study in the Journal of School Psychology found that early discussions on sexual health and anatomy sometimes lead to heightened self-consciousness and body image issues, which can impact the mental health and the self-esteem in vulnerable students.
So you mentioned that students who receive comprehensive sex education are more confused. So confusion is the main reason why sex education is being implemented. So children that are being taught sex education is taught for them to be less ignorant and less confused.
So, but ignorance is a bliss. If they're not aware of it, why would they do it? So if we teach children the functions of our body, so they would likely mostly do what's supposed to be don'ts.
It's impossible to be ignorant at this age due to the internet. They can.
Are we talking about young children? Or you as an adult?
Let's stay away from the topic.
I said exposure to young children.
No, but young children can be exposed to explicit content at a young age, right? Because in the Philippines, we have, say, a core and students go out practical classes, right? Spending time with their friends. And maybe in one specific time, they go with their family, watch the content. That's why we should teach students the proper education, sex education, in order for them to not be ignorant, be well informed, they don't perform sexual activities without protection, right? Because you can't control the people. They have free will. God gave them free will.
That's right.
That's why instead of preventing them, because we cannot do it. No matter how much you say, do not do that, do not. We'll do it. So we should teach them the right way. If they don't, if they do it, at least they do it the right way. You can prevent, or you can
better than prevention. Instead, eliminate the threat itself. We must prohibit sex as before 18.
The topic is execution.
Wait, didn't you say sex education can help prevent sexually transferred diseases?
Our claim is that sex education comes from family and religious values. Many parents and families believe that sex education should align with specific religious or cultural values, which public school programs often do not respect. This can create tension between what children are taught at home and at school, leading to confusion and conflicts. According to a Pew Research Center, 60% of parents prefer to teach their children about sex themselves, often because they want to integrate personal beliefs and values that are not covered in public school curriculum.
So you mentioned that parents should teach it at school. So while it is ideal for parents to discuss sex education at home, not all parents are equipped with the knowledge and resources or comfort level to have this conversation. Study shows that many parents feel unprepared to talk about sex education, especially when it comes to topics like contraceptions, consent, and STIs. Relying solely on parents to provide this information creates disparities, as not all students have the same support at home. So by offering comprehensive sex education in schools, we ensure that all students receive accurate, medically sound information regardless of their family situation. This helps bridge any gaps and ensure that every student has the foundation they need to make informed decisions about their health, safety, and relationship.
Are they forgetting about the violation of the parental rights? Numerous studies indicate that mandatory sex education in schools is seen as infringement on the parental rights, especially when the curricula include content that conflicts with their personal beliefs. The American Center for Law and Justice has documented cases where parents have filed lawsuits to opt their children out of sex education for this particular reason.
So you said parents consent. Parents consent. Their schools shows our parents the topics that be taught in schools. That's why parents have consent that the teachers can teach them what they teach at school.
But according to the Pew Research Center, 60% of the parents prefer to teach their children about sex themselves, often because they want to integrate personal beliefs and values that are not covered in public school curriculum.
So you're saying that parents should teach children, right? But how can the next generation of parents teach children if they weren't taught previously about education? Also, how sure are you that what the parents teach to the children are accurate and informed?
Yes, because as I said earlier, parents can and ideally teach their child, but it is not reliable information, and not all parents have the resources and the knowledge to teach their children.
Yes, you have a point there. But as a Filipino family, we should conduct and we should implement our government to be a better family to our parents. So why we should empower parents with resources and training to educate their parents on sexuality in a way that aligns with their beliefs. So, as a Filipino, we are integrated as morally and respectful to ourselves. So, teaching sex education is to explicit to our values and our culture.
So, so you said that it is explicit, right? Define explicit. So explicit is kanang in bad taste. Oh, kanang lala na bitaw. So comprehensive sex education is it is age appropriate for each level of student.
So can we include that we can teach that to elementary students?
Yes. Okay. So wala lang mo kabalo pero naay sex education sa elementary and preschool. So respecting each other is part of sex education. So because we are talking
But
about
family orientation also respects that decision, because not only we can teach that in sex education, but also in family orientation, because our first educators are our parents. So that's why we should implement more, and we should educate more our parents to educate their children the better way, because
okay, so how can you make sure that each family have the same guidance and knowledge that those families that have more resources and more privilege, how can you ensure that they have the same knowledge to teach their
Just like
children?
the ESL, we're going to teach the parents instead of the children.
that's why we should implement our government to educate more our parents, so that they cannot lead astray to our beliefs and our cultural respects and values.
How sure are you that when these things are taught in the arrival at school, they will teach how sure are you that they will pass on their knowledge of sex education to children at home? Are you sure that they will be able to when it's already too late to learn about sex education?
That's why our government should educate our parents more.
Yes. But how sure are you that they will teach it at home after getting educated?
Let me ask you the same question. How sure are you that the children, the young children that you are teaching the sex education will absorb the knowledge and use it for his or her betterment? So how sure are you that?
So just knowing the consequences of what will happen gives value to sex education, because sex education also not dili lang prevention, but also the sex education also teaches the consequences.
Yes, that's right about sex education. However, family orientation also implemented that type of idea. So instead of implementing sex education, why not we should upgrade, or we should foster more knowledge about sex orientation to our children, so that it can be safer, even to our values and culture.
We're not that,
People who are against sex education, like this and this is the excuse that sex education exposes young children to explicit and inappropriate content. But let me tell you, brothers, ignorance is a sharp blade, and that blade is pointing at your neck like that. It seems to me that you don't even know what Kakatawa niya ba? The basic topics of sex education is first, the human anatomy, puberty and adolescence development, sexual orientation and gender identity, consent and healthy relationships, sexual health, STIs, HIV, AIDS, pregnancy and parenthood, safe-sex practices, and prevention of communication and boundary studies. And for what we said earlier, that is it okay to expose sex education to children, let me answer you. In elementary, sex education already exists. And sex education in elementary teaches you about the basic anatomy, hygiene and safety, and respectful touch. In middle school, or age 11 to 14, they teach you about puberty and body changes, consent and boundaries, and basic sexual health. And lastly, in senior high school, or 14 to 18, like at our age, they teach you about comprehensive sexual health, relationships and communication, and sexuality and identity. Now let me ask you, how can you be against sex education without even knowing what sex education is?
Sex education curricula includes discussion about contraception, sexual orientation, and gender identity as early as elementary school. However, critics argue that such content is not appropriate for young children who may not have maturely to fully understand these concepts. So, how can an elementary student absorb this kind of information about gender identity and sexual orientation and about contraceptives?
It seems like you didn't even listen to what I said. Contraceptive in elementary. I clearly stated earlier that in elementary, sex education is only about basic anatomy, hygiene and safety, and respectful touch. Sexuality and identity, they will teach you that in high school, not elementary.
If there's something wrong there with the curriculum, then you simply need to change it to adjust to what they require, right? You don't want to teach calculus elementary students, right? That would be wrong. Simply need to adjust what they can easily understand and what they need.
However,
Early exposures to topics related to sex and sexuality can affect young students psychologically, creating confusion or even anxiety, especially in students who may not be emotionally ready for such information. We have different environment growing up. Kung saan pagtudlo sex education sa mga bungol o buta! Kapag mo parents kung sa imong ganahan. Okay?
Sabi na pa ito ng sex education sa kapatag ko.
Part of your statement revolves around teaching young children about sexuality. Are we gonna go around this over and over again? In elementary, they only teach about basic anatomy.
No, I mean early exposure related to sex can affect young students.
That's exactly what I said.
Yes, can affect.
Comprehensive sex education includes overall public health by lowering
This debate or
STI cases and unintended pregnancy. If you wanted to promote overall environmental health, then sex education is the answer. Areas that implement it see fewer unplanned pregnancies. That's not a guess. And that is straight from the Journal of School Health. And when students get real factual and real information on reproductive health, maternal mortality drops. Because they are making informed decisions instead of stumbling in the dark. The World Health Organization passed that out. And you want to know what else? Sex ed teaches communication. It's not just about biology. It's about fostering healthy adult relationships by giving young people the tools to navigate them responsibly.
Okay, you said that sex education reduces STDs. So, comprehensive sex education does not guarantee a reduction in teen pregnancies or STDs. The study shows mixed results with some communities seeing little to no improvement. So, exposure to sexual topic might normalize risky behaviors rather than prevent them. So, kung makita ka droga, di ba, yung naglakta.
A study of by the National Bureau of Economic Research found that some cases discussing sex at a young age can actually lead to curiosity and
Ilan na persenta nito mga yun?
students become more
Yan na naman.
context. And as what I have said, we can also there's also a biology class in elementary school which includes about reproductive health and
Reproductive system.
reproductive organs which can enlighten students and also family orientation and also in our MTRCB in our TV, why does it have parental guidance?
I stopped listening after your first sentence. Again, your first sentence revolves around exposing sex education to young children. Again, elementary sex education is only about basic anatomy, hygiene, and respectful touch. We're not teaching you how to have sex.
Ganun naman biology! That sex education could encourage curiosity and experiment. So I agree that curiosity is
Counter argument.
So I agree that curiosity is natural among young people. So but without proper education, this curiosity can lead them to seek answers from unreliable and potentially harmful sources. So comprehensive sex education channels this curiosity in a healthy, informed way, giving students the facts and tools to make sure that they receive knowledge at what they need.
Wait.
Is sex education taught in the Philippines? Yes or no? Yes, it is. So, it is taught to us, but one of the biggest consequences of the ignorance of sex education is STDs and teenage pregnancy. But those problems are still rampant within our country, even though we have thought sex education can prevent them or lessen them, but in the end, it is still increasing by the time.
So you said that. So as I said earlier, sex education that are taught effectively, effectively lessens the STDs and AIDS.
Okay, let's start this. What's your last message?
Let's go.
Yes.
So in summary, comprehensive sex education reduces teen pregnancy, promotes respect, and improves health.
Your message to your
Don't have sex.
So our last message is that sex education should be taught effectively, and it's not about only teaching you how to have sex, but as Anthony said, it's a very specific topic, right?
Yes. Yes.
So therefore, we should teach sex education effectively at school to prevent STDs, many pregnancies, and many more unhappy endeavors. I think schools.
Last message ba?
My message is don't have sex. Thank you.
Not unless you're ready.
Yeah.
When you mean you're ready, it means that you're financially, physically, mentally, and
Stable.
back indulge in it, not unless
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Yes.